We have spoken before about the liability trap that sponsors of 401k plans fall into, namely that they are fiduciaries for the plan, and that exposes them to participant liability. Well, now comes the Obama administration through the Department of Labor proposing new regulations that would make the brokers, as providers to 401ks, subject to increasing their standard to that being of a fiduciary as well. This is huge news for plan participants and most certainly also for Wall Street itself. Here's the bottom line on this and how it affects everyone. Under current rules, a broker, that is the person selling investments to the plan, has to act under what's thought of as a prudent man rule, making sure that the investments offered to each of the participants are appropriate for them. Take, for example, target date funds. These one-stop shop funds automatically adjust the asset allocation of the funds to meet the client's age and expected retirement date. Pretty nifty. The problem here is what is now becoming a regulation. Let's say I'm a broker for Merrill Lynch and I sold a plan to company X, and furthermore, I offered Merrill Lynch Target Date funds to the participants. Under the old rules, I was fine. The investments were considered appropriate and everyone was happy. Well, not quite everyone. Over the past years subsequent to the debacle of 2008, many academics and some practitioners have complained that participants were paying too high a fee for the services they were receiving. They argued that sometimes fees are hidden and other times fees are just too high when compared with competitors. This led some, including the New School of Economics' Theresa Ghilarducci, to recommend to Congress that the government take over the 401k and put the retirement funds into government securities like Social Security. Well, this more extreme approach didn't get traction, but the idea of investors paying too high a fee to brokers for selling in-house products did. Most of us would agree that a person selling financial instruments should have a pretty high level of responsibility when it comes to serving their clients. But in my opinion, making brokers act as fiduciaries opens them up to a myriad of problems. The first is that major brokers will simply not work with individuals because why would they? One of their brokers builds a relationship, does the groundwork to figure out what's needed in that circumstance, and then, due to fiduciary rules, is forced to sell a competitive product. It doesn't take rocket science to know how no business could do that for long and stay in business. So this will have an unintended consequence, and that is that smaller investors will get no help from anyone. Fee-based advisors already act in many cases as fiduciaries and most often have the flexibility to use any investment that makes sense because they're fee-based, not commission-based. However, due to regulatory costs, among other things, small investors typically can't access fee-based advisors. The cost to an advisor approaches around $5,000 a year in time and resources, and at an average fee of 1%, well, that's equal to an investment of about $500,000, and that's a very standard minimum account size. So what are the solutions? If you're a professional in the financial services business, you ought to become a fee-based advisor. If you're a participant in a 401k, your solution is to educate yourself. More than ever, you will have to rely on your own knowledge and your own abilities to successfully manage your retirement assets. Now, that's never really been in question anyway. You have always been the one who has borne the responsibility for yourself, even if someone else tried to help.